Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to all of you that are new here today. Today is Friday Series Day and I am back at Target. This time I am at a different Target and for a different reason today. We are still focusing on tablescapes this month and I have to say I am so excited about this one. So I hope that you will come along with me as I walk through the store picking out what I think are the perfect items for a beautiful summer table. Now, if you are new, I hope that you will consider subscribing. All you have to do is hit that little red subscribe button down below and it's absolutely free. But for now, let's go ahead and dive right into today's video. Now, I came here today because this is one of our bigger Targets here in town, and I was really hoping to find a lot more merchandise on hand. But when I arrived, I'll have to say I was slightly disappointed by their selection. Now, I'm sure I am partly at fault here. I already had a theme picked out at a different Target, but this one didn't have these placemats that I was really wanting to use. And once I wrap my mind around a look, I have a very hard time putting that down. So today, it took me a few minutes to gather my senses and move on. Now, once I got past my initial shock of not being able to create what I had initially come in here for, I started looking at other placemats, runners, and even place settings, but nothing really stood out to me. So I just began to wander the store for a bit and finally had something piqued my interest. Now I'm thinking the texture and maybe the lightness of these woven baskets were what made these stand out. So today I feel like I worked a little backwards and started my whole place setting with decor rather than dishes. But that's okay. I think it ended up coming together perfectly. Sometimes I find it so funny what catches my eye in the store. These candles were another thing that really stood out initially. I love the wrapping around them with this simple jute bow. And once I saw the woven tray, I thought these would look so good stacked across it. So in the basket, they go along with these simple glass jars. And of course, greenery is always a must. Now, I will say that faux eucalyptus is not my favorite, but I sure love the idea of the real stuff, so much so that I have a tree planted in our backyard. It adds so much to any arrangement and I use it all year round. I have had my eye on this oil and vinegar set for the past few weeks now, so I just had to incorporate it into today's tablescape. Now, I went into this week's setting telling myself no wood, but I could not resist all the beautiful selections they have here. This a large serving tray is so amazing, so I didn't keep to my thought process at all this week. Now I'm going to pick up a few odds and ends here that I know are just going to enhance the tablescape, and then we'll move on to some greenery. When I spied this olive bush, I knew this was the one. I'll have to say this shopping trip has probably been the hardest one to put it all back in the end. I love this and would have kept it in a minute. My next stop was the candle aisle in hopes of finding something to fit that middle woven canister, thinking that might create a different look. And I also picked up a cloche because, well, it's a cloche and I kind of love them. Then, right down the aisle and around the corner, I found some vase filler that I knew would work so well with the cloche. So I knew it was meant to be. I love the idea of limes in a kitchen. I know lemons are a huge thing right now, but I like the idea of being just a little different than the current trend. I took another minute to stop by the dinnerware to see if there was anything I could use there. And to be honest, it just wasn't calling my name. I did pick something up, but ended up putting it back and going with something completely different. And one more trip down the linen aisle. I did want to see what was available. Once again, I did grab a few things here that I knew would work well with the inspiration of it all, that woven tray. I did end up using a lot of hearth and hand items, including their dinnerware. It worked so well together and had a different texture to the edges. They weren't perfectly round, and I thought that added another layer to the unexpected. Now on to my favorite part, setting it all up. Once again, I found a small shelf way at the back of the store thinking I would be out of the way, but I never am. I have to excuse myself on several occasions. Thankfully, everyone is so kind and understanding and will either just walk right around me saying it's no problem at all, or they'll stop to chat and kind of look over the items and maybe ask where something is. So thankfully, like I said, everybody has been so understanding. I will say, on a normal occasion, I am not one that gravitates toward tablecloths or table runners. I don't usually use them at all. I'll use greenery in their place or just set things up to make a small vignette. But I do love some of the runners that they have here at Target. They had a pretty wide selection. The only reason I didn't use different ones is because I didn't have the decor to go with it. Now, the two that I did end up choosing are obviously very neutral. Even though I had hoped to use something more colorful, I do love these and I think they would go with so much. This one that I'm using right now, it doesn't look very orange. It's more on the brown tone to me, but it's definitely something that could transition from summer into fall. Though this tablescape might not be my style per se, I do think that it is so very pretty. I love all the textures that come through, and I do think the woven elements not only lend themselves to the whole breakfast theme of the mugs, it also seems like a great transitional setting, like I said, that would go from summer right into fall. I was so excited to have my husband along with me today. He has always been so incredibly supportive of my little YouTube journey, so he was more than willing to come along and be what he calls my project security and obviously my side cameraman. Once again, on this trip, I feel like it ended up with more than enough items to go around and even a few different looks in the cart. So I thought we would go ahead and set each and every one up. It won't be a big difference, but just enough to lend itself to being a little more simple at times and then just changing up the direction of items. It just seems to add a lot to your tablescape. So let's go ahead, go through those really quick and see what we come up with. With this next setting, not much has changed, but the more expensive serving boards are taken away, and I think it looks just as nice. The look is very clean, crisp, and simple. Being the place setting is so simple. I think having the centerpiece speak a little louder is perfect. This beautiful olive bush is the perfect addition to it. It brings your eye to the center of the table where you'll then see the added color and texture of this amazing serving tray. And then the final added touch of the cloche paired with the vase filler, and the table is complete. Having these serving trays really serves in two ways. They are not only beautiful to look at, but also bring a touch of elegance to all the different foods that can be displayed on them for your family and guests, making them feel a little more special along the way. Once again, I'm going to make a couple more changes here, just adding in and taking away, hoping to create another look without doing very much. I really love the idea of the tea towels folded up here and placed on the serving board, then simply placing the cereal bowls just on top is just another perfect touch to any breakfast table. Obviously, these last two place settings are just a combination of the first two, but just by switching things up a little can really make its own mark. I love the little hints of greenery on the plates themselves, and then by bringing back the serving trays at a different angle gives the presentation a completely different look once again. If you are new, welcome. I just kind of wanted to take a moment to explain what's going on here. This is my new Friday series that I started this summer, and it's all about me going out to different stores and trying to find all the decor needed for one specific project. And for the month of July, we have concentrated on one of my favorite things to bring together: tablescapes. Now, I do not buy a thing. As you can see, I pick a small corner of the store to set everything up and kind of walk you through my thought process. Now, what I'm doing now is taking pictures of each item, listing the product codes and the prices for your convenience. So I do hope that you enjoyed this little venture. Again, if you did, I would love for you to really consider becoming a part of our little Graceful Living family. All you need to do is press that little red button down below, and it's absolutely free. So I know that this is a lot of fun for me, and I'm really hoping it is for you too. As I began to put this video together today, I heard myself say the word unexpected a few times, and for some reason the word miracle came to mind. I think it might be because sometimes we wonder why they don't come, and sometimes even begin to question him. I know for myself, I have been through a lot medically. When I was pregnant with Josiah 25 years ago, actually, he just had a birthday, I was finally diagnosed with achalasia after several years of trying to figure out what was going on. Achalasia is the narrowing of your esophagus, and back then it was very rare, and my doctor had only heard about it a handful of times and never ever in a pregnant 25-year-old. So obviously there was a tremendous amount of worry that came along with it for each and every one of us. I endured a lot of horrific testing and was told, not asked, to terminate my pregnancy 6 times. We ended up with a team of 22 doctors. I was intravenously fed for over a year. We went through a deployment. I slipped into a coma after one of my surgeries. We had our first Red Cross call, and in the end, I delivered a beautiful and very healthy baby boy. But after all of that, I still, to this day, suffer from the pain that comes along with having achalasia. And in the middle of that intense pain can bring up the question of, where is my miracle after all these years? And I have to remember, it came in a very unexpected way of not only having Josiah, but then Jeremiah as well. God is good and always delivers. It might not be in the way we expect or what we want, but He never fails to give us exactly what we need. The Lord is righteous in all His ways and loving toward all He has made. The Lord is near to all who call on Him. All right, dear friends, I am going to begin bringing this one to a close. Thank you so much for making it to the very end with me. I would love to hear what your favorite item was this week. So please consider leaving me a comment down below. And I am thinking of maybe making my way back to Hobby Lobby next week and considering doing a fall tablescape. Would that be of any interest to you? Let me know that as well. I love fall and I am so eager to decorate for that season once again. Now, if you are new, I would love to hear from you as well so I can say hello. And if I haven't introduced myself yet, my name is Deena, and thank you so much for stopping by. Now, I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Remember to stay safe, be blessed, and I will see you Tuesday. Goodbye, everyone.